This video I have entitled Let's Party. It addresses Gospel Writer 2's ninth Kingdom of Heaven parable. Here we will hear the writer threaten his readers again. This parable is also found in Gospel Writer 3's work, where no threat is expressed. We will continue to refer to these writings as Gospel 1, Gospel 2, Gospel 3, and Gospel 4. We will not use the names Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. These names were added in subsequent centuries by individuals as they hand-copied the text. All four Gospel writers wrote anonymously, long after Jesus died. We will keep a watch on many things. We are looking at how the stories were grouped in each Gospel. And we are asking ourselves, which stories do the Gospel writers share in common? Likewise, we want to know if the shared stories are substantially different or substantially the same. Finally, is there a pattern? That is, does the writer appear to have an axe to grind? For our live broadcast discussions, we are keeping in mind 5 questions. Was Jesus a character in any of what an ancient writer presents as one of Jesus' own parables? To what does the ancient writer attribute each of Jesus' comparisons? At what point does the parable end and the ancient writer's commentary begin? Can we separate the writer's proposition from the parable itself? And does the parable bring up a wealthy afterlife where one sees their loved ones? Or is the kingdom of heaven simply a metaphor for something else? Throughout this study, our suspicion has been that Jesus' parables, circulating in the first century, were used by ancient writers to promote Jesus and not necessarily to reflect what Jesus taught the people of the way. Gospel Writer 2's ninth Kingdom of Heaven parable reads, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his sons. And he sent out his slaves to call those who had been invited to the wedding feast, and they were unwilling to come. Again he sent out other slaves, saying, 'Tell those who have been invited, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatted livestock are all butchered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding feast.' But they paid no attention and went their way, one to his own farm, another to his business, and the rest seized his slaves and mistreated them and killed them. But the king was enraged and sent his armies and destroyed those murderers and set their city on fire. Then he said to his slaves, 'The wedding is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. Go therefore to the main highways, and as many as you find there, invite to the wedding feast.' And those slaves went out into the streets and gathered together all they found, both evil and good, and the wedding hall was filled with dinner guests. But when the king came in to look over the dinner guests, he saw there a man not dressed in wedding clothes, and he said to him, 'Friend, how did you come in here without wedding clothes?' And he was speechless. Then the king said to the servants, 'Bind him hand and foot, and cast him into the outer darkness. In that place there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen.'" Gospel Writer 3's same parable reads, "And when one of those who were reclining at the table with him heard this, he said to them, 'Blessed is everyone who shall eat bread in the kingdom of God.' But he said to him, a certain man was giving a big dinner, and he invited many. And at the dinner hour he sent his slave to say to those who had been invited, 'Come, for everything is ready now.' But they all alike began to make excuses. The first one said to him, 'I have bought a piece of land, and I need to go out and look at it. Please consider me excused.' And another one said, 'I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I am going to try them out. Please consider me excused.' And another one said, 'I have married a wife, and for that reason I cannot come.' And the slave came back and reported this to his master. Then the head of the household became angry and said to his slave, 'Go out at once into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in here the poor, and the crippled, and the blind, and the lame.' And the slave said, 'Master, what you commanded has been done, and still there is room.' And the master said to the slave, 'Go out into the highways and along the hedges, compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I tell you, none of those men who were invited shall taste my dinner.'" Gospel Writer 2's point may have been, follow Jesus now, or else you'll have no other opportunity. That is certainly a common theme in Christian sermons today. But Jesus' point may have been, live life now, while you can. Believe in life before death, not the end of the age before life. Notice G3 has no account of armies, murder, or war, or of anyone being thrown out. The negative and the threats and the supernatural are once again exclusive to Gospel Writer 2. So if I use the same Kingdom of Heaven parables as Gospel Writer 2 employs so far, what may have Jesus taught the people of the way? It could have sounded something like this. We plant an idea about contentment. How it grows, we are not sure. But when it grows, we reap the results. It grows until it benefits all others around us. It becomes infectious. It is more valuable than anything else we have. But we still must sort out the bad attitude from the good. We are more content with an attitude of forgiveness. No matter when you begin to adopt this way of being, you reap the same results. Don't be too busy to live life while life is available to you. It's our attitude toward life that is the way. The figure of speech, Kingdom of Heaven, is a metaphor for the kingdom of contentment within our sovereign selves. The kingdom of heaven with golden streets and gates of pearl did not appear in ancient writings until the end of the 1st century. If nothing supernatural ever happened, then Jesus' following, known as people of the way, grew out of the way he taught, not because people were dazzled by supernatural displays. His way of being content in life is not supernatural. It's just naturally super. In future videos, we will continue to see what might have been Jesus' message to his following, known as people of the way. Neither hard atheist nor fundamentalist Christian theist would embrace my thoughts. But it's all good, unless you happen to think it's bad.